Good morning, Ohio. It's James Ernest of the UC Bearcats on the Prowl with Mark Fightmaster. Mark, tell us, who do we have on the show today?
Well, James, we got Greg Moore joining us, former Bearcat football player. Greg, welcome.
I'm here. Glad to be here.
Good. Why don't you, real quick, catch us up? You were on the show a year and a half ago. If you wouldn't mind catching us up on everything that's happened with you since then.
Well, I'm still involved in football. I coach at Prowl Madison High School. I've been attending the Bearcats games now since the last time I was on. They had who was there?
Tuberville?
Coach. Yep, Tuberville. So
yeah,
I'm enjoying what we have right now. So I've been to every game this year.
So, yeah,
Excellent.
we definitely look forward to getting your thoughts on today's game. And obviously, it seems like you're excited about the direction Fickle's taking the program.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it would be hard to be excited about last week's game up there at Ohio State. I mean, it just seemed like every time they were about to do something good, something bad would happen.
Yes. That's exactly how that game went. And it seems like when we're playing a team of that caliber, it seems like it always happens that way. Like the ball never falls where we need the ball.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's a good team up there. I mean, that is a high caliber, team, and I was looking forward to, measuring stick game. I think we were all pretty excited to see what the Cats could do against the Buckeyes. And you're right. It just, when we needed a break, we couldn't get one.
Right. And I'm just glad they came back and bounced back and kept the bell at home this past game.
Definitely. Yeah, I was going to say, it's nice that it's finally become one-sided in UC's favor. I mean, obviously, all three of us are too young to remember this, but at one point, Miami was extremely dominant in the rivalry, and they were winning consistently, and they had the bell for such a long time. But definitely, since when you were playing, it seems like UC has really dominated that rivalry.
Right. And when I played, 2005 was the only time we lost to them.
Yeah.
And ever since then, it's been on our end.
Yeah, well, that's 14 straight wins.
Right.
In the battle for the bell. And what's crazy is that even after those 14 straight wins, James was talking about how Miami had a good stretch of time. I think after those 14 straight wins, the series is still like 59.
We down one, I think.
7 by Miami. Yeah. So we're down one. We can get it next year.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, that tells you a lot about the history of the rivalry, that, I mean, it's been going on for so long that UC can be so dominant, like you said, the last 14 years, and still not be caught up to there. But you're right, in the next year or two, things can change, and we can go ahead and take the lead.
And keep on going.
Exactly.
Speaking about taking the lead, obviously the game didn't start off too well for UC. They were down 10-0 in the first quarter. What were your all's thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on it was it's the first quarter, and it's a long game to go. And sometimes when you get in a rivalry game, you got to settle in first, let some things happen and make some adjustments. And then once we settled in, you've seen the end result.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a little worried there might have been a little bit of a hangover from that Ohio State game. It just wouldn't have been so hyped up. But then, they get things going. And, I think, I don't know that it was ever in doubt. Right. Even though they were down 10-0, still had the feeling they were going to come back and win that.
Yeah, I by playing in the game, I've known how it went before. So once you settle in and just get back to your game, and then on top of that, we were at home, so that always plays a major part. When you play in the Nip, it's hard to win there.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, Nippert Stadium's a great atmosphere, and it really does seem to help the Bearcats spur on to victory. And then, of course, I mean, with Michael Warren, I mean, what a monster game. 12 carries, 113 yards, 3 touchdowns, getting that hat trick.
Yeah, Michael Warren. I've been following him for a while since high school. Actually, we played him. Like it started to turn into a playoff rivalry against TCC when I coached because I coached at Trotwood. So we played them multiple times in the playoffs. They done beat us a couple times. We beat them a couple times. And his senior year, we shut them out one time. We shut them out 30-0. I think that was the year we won the state.
Oh, nice.
Wow. holding him to, holding his team to a shutout. That's pretty good.
Right.
I mean, a lot of great things in the game yesterday. I mean, Desmond Ritter is, picked back up 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, and only 1 pick. I mean, he's been doing quite well for a sophomore. So, do y'all feel that he's avoiding the sophomore slump, Greg?
Yes, I really think so. He plays well. I would like to see him run a little bit more.
I agree with you.
Because he has times where he can run it and he waits a little bit, but I like to see him run a little bit more, use his feet, and make himself more of a dual threat. But he's playing pretty well.
Yeah, it gives the defense something else they got to worry about. I mean, he's a good. He throws the ball well. He adds in that run, and then he gets out there and makes a DB or an outside backer or somebody make a choice between coming up to get him and staying back on the receiver. That's going to give him an extra dimension. It's going to make him much more of a threat.
Right. And then everybody won't focus in on Mike Warren all the time.
Exactly.
And then, of course, I'm excited. My favorite player, number 83, got a big touchdown catch. And the reason why he's my favorite player is because that first game of the season against UCLA, I believe he won the game. I believe if they would have ran that interception back for a touchdown, I think the second half would have been a completely different game. I think the mood, the team, I don't know, if it would have been able to handle it as well as they did. But when he stepped up as a senior and made that tackle and stopped him, I think that was huge.
Yeah.
That's. I think that's a perfect. That could be shown to people. That clip of him hustling down the field from the other side of the field in the end zone to make that tackle, just to show them what it does when you hustle. What it can mean for your team.
All right, that was straight momentum changer.
Oh yeah.
If they would have scored, they would have thought they would have really had a chance to take over.
Mm-hmm.
So, Greg, you played in a lot of games. Do you remember any plays similar to that where, someone on the field just made such an important or impactful play that it changed the course of the game?
Yes, I've seen, from playing, our defense done made some big plays like that. I can go back to when Rutgers was number 2 in the nation, and it was a big third down, and D'Angelo Smith got an interception and ran it back for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And it changed the whole momentum of the game.
Yeah. Wow, hard to believe Rutgers was ever number 2 in the nation. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Right.
Sorry about that.
It's Ray Rice.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, just funny to hear Rutgers in number 2.
Right.
All right, so, that's all well and good with all the opinions on the game. What about the uniforms, man? What you think?
I love them. I think they should wear them more often. Like putting like a mixture to it to where you have the Steve Paul on the side with that kind of uniform. I actually like him.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty sweet looking. A lot of red, but I thought it looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were nice. I really like the ones, how like the building across from the stadium, how they got the weird windows. I forget.
On the helmet.
Yeah, that was awesome when they did that.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty crazy. I'll give you that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, because unless you're from around here, you wouldn't get why it was cool. But yeah, with being being a local guy, you're like, yeah, that really just, capturing that architecture into the helmet, that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, of course, we covered the Miami game. It was a great win for them, but like we said, it's a rivalry, so of course it was competitive early, and it could have went either way early on. But UC, like you said, just had that feeling that they knew they could come back and win. I mean, when teams that you were on, Greg, did you have that feeling that your confidence in your teammates?
Yeah, because when you spend all the time that you spend on film study and watching your keys, and sometimes you get up in the game and then you're not focused on what you learn and you're just out there playing. But then once you lock in and focus, and then you start to see all the things happening before the play even happens, you start to get more confident, and that's what makes it football. Once you lock in and do what you got to do, it comes out in your favor. But that's everything you put in during the week before you get there.
I was going to say, I know, with Miami being a rival, not exactly rooting for them, but with next week's game, I'm not going to lie to you, I would like to see them at least come out and do well. I don't think they're going to win, clearly, because they're playing Ohio State, but, it would be, let's see them do something to maybe move the ball on a drive or whatever, that young quarterback, Brett Gabbert, he's a solid player. And not that I think he's going to be able to, throw darts or anything against him. It would be nice just to, see if they could do something positive.
Well, both of their tackles went down, so it's going to be a really bad day.
Yeah, I kind of had that feeling. I kind of have the feeling that by the third quarter, I will be taking pictures of Ohio State's third string running back.
Yeah, right. Because they're gonna have a hard time with I forgot the kid's name. Number 2, the defensive end.
Yeah.
Oh, Chase Young.
Yeah, he might break a record this week.
Yeah, that's what James knows. I grew up an Ohio State fan, been a fan of theirs a long time as well. And this year, this defense is something different. They used to call themselves the Silver Bullets, flying around the field and all that. This defense is a lot better than I expected it to be. So it could get ugly. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll get ugly. The question is how bad Ryan Day is going to be with him. Hopefully, he'll call the dogs off, or maybe, like I said, put the second, put the thirds. But even those guys are such good athletes that it'll be pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope they show some fight. But yeah, more than likely, it's going to be way too much for them. Yeah.
So, Greg, have you gotten to see any of Marshall's games this year?
Go ahead, say it again.
Have you seen any of Marshall play this year?
No, I actually haven't.
How about you, Mark?
What was that, James? I didn't hear you.
Oh, how about you, Mark? Have you seen Marshall play?
Yeah, I did watch him play against Boise. Just because.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if Boise is down a little bit or if Marshall is better. It was a good game. I think Boise won 14-7. Yeah. So it was a tight game, and it was at Boise, if I remember right. So you're going up there with the blue field, and they didn't get intimidated. But then again, last week they scraped past OU, Ohio University, by 2 points. So, but they gave up 31. They scored 33 last week. So, it's hard to tell what to expect. But we'll see. It looks like both teams have a bye this week. So
yeah, I haven't got a chance to check out Marshall this year.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I had one of my best games against Marshall.
Did you?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Well, as a team, this was a dominant game. Every last running back, I think, scored. From me to Bradley Gladar to Butler Benton to Jacob Ramsey. It was just a dominant game for us that day. That was when we had Brian Kelly as the coach.
Yeah.
it was such a dominant performance, even Boston Kelly scored a touchdown.
Wow. Yeah, that is dominant.
Yeah, I was going to say that's an obscure reference that most fans won't get, but neat fella. Yeah, so it sounds like there's some really good things going on there. How's your football program doing this year?
We're 2-1. Only team we lost to was Winton Woods. We just beat Wayne Warriors. Mike Mickens, the defense back coach.
Yeah.
Former UC grad, former roommate of mine. I haven't called him yet, but we always go back and forth when we play his high school. And we beat them 40-28 yesterday, Friday.
Oh.
And I coach running backs, and my running back, he's a freshman, and he rushed for 193 yards.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. You guys lost to what you said?
Yeah. That was the first game of the season. Hey, they're pretty tough.
Their running back is like a full-grown man. I've seen him run a couple times. He's a stud.
Yeah, he's all up 5'11", 220, like it says. Like he was running through us. So we got a pretty stout defense.
So it sounds like football in the Cincinnati area is pretty darn strong.
Yes, because the first week of the season, they came up here and they beat everybody. Coleraine beat Wayne. Wynwoods beat us. There's a couple other teams that came up here this way to the Dayton area, and they played a team or two.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I would say Cincinnati football is back on top right now.
Definitely. And I don't want to get, too far ahead with the schedule and all that, but I do want to mention, because I just think this is so awesome, that on October 4th, they're going to have that UCF game, and then after the UFC game, they're going to do the Midnight Madness.
Right.
Yeah, so Greg, are you looking forward to checking that out?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go to that one because October the 5th is my birthday.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. So I'm actually go down there for that on the 4th.
Oh, nice. Are you, what are your thoughts on Coach Brennan for basketball?
I haven't really got to check him out. Where was he at before he came in here?
NKU. He made the postseason the last 3 years, all 3 of his years. 2 out of the 3, they made the NCAA tournament. And the year they didn't make the NCAA tournament, they won their regular season championship. And they lost in the postseason tournament. I mean, they won their regular season tournament, so they should have been in as well. But they ended up going to the NIT instead.
Yeah, I'm going to look him up a little bit and check him out.
Yeah, because I know, unfortunately, some of the players weren't happy at first because they were running Van Exel, but Coach Brennan's a darn good coach. I mean, don't get me wrong, Van Exel, I think, would have done a great job as well, but it's just, I mean, kind of felt like a natural progression with him being in NKU and doing so well there. And then, of course, the funny part is Mick Cronin, he ended up going to UCLA, which UCLA had been playing a couple games with UC, and they stole their coach. Then, of course, UC plays a game with NKU last year, and then steals NKU's coach.
Right.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then going through a lot of coaching changes when I was in college, a lot of it is more so, I would say, it's more so about the players that you have and the family environment as teammates that you have that actually makes the coach. Because, yeah, my years at UC, we had 3 coaches and we still had winning records. So, yeah,
Consistency.
Right. It's more so what you do on the field, and if you buy into the coach, it really doesn't matter who's coaching. Right. So, if you believe what they're saying is going to get you to where you need to be, it's always going to come out good. It's going to always come out good. It's just when that you get the coach and then you don't believe what he believes. Now you got a turmoil and it's
Yeah.
I mean, that's where your losses come from.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. That definitely, it's a cohesiveness. It's like you said, it's the rest of the team being able to pick up and move forward, and not just focus on the coaching changes and to be able to work as a unit. Definitely.
Right.
I was going to say, sounds like things are going great for you. Any final thoughts? And if after the final thoughts, we're on social media and the web. Should they check you out at?
I'm glad y'all reached out to me. Make me feel, it makes me feel wanted, and makes me feel like I put in some work there to where some guys remember me. So
Oh, definitely.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah, we definitely remember you. I mean, a big part of UC's success and a big part of the program. So, and I think that's awesome how you're able to go to the games and then have really, kind of carried on that or started that next generation up with doing the coaching. That's great how you're giving back to the sport of football that you love.
Yeah, I love me some football. I was right before you was called, I was doing some film study on our next opponent. We play school up here called Fairmont. So I had to give me some film study in before we watch the film with the kids tomorrow.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's fun to do.
And I really appreciate you guys.
Well,
thanks.
We look forward to having you on again in the future. On social media, where on the web should Bearcat fans follow you at?
All righty.
Cool. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.